Good afternoon, my little pork chops. This is PJ Lowry, and this is going to be the first ever PJ podcast. Today is June. What fucking day is it? It's June 14th, 2016. A few people I talk to every now and then think I should make a podcast because I'm an opinionated guy. I have trouble keeping my mouth shut. I've been told by a few noobs that I talk the head off a 9-inch nail. I get it. I like to gab. I love to talk about things. I love to debate things. I like to stir the shit up. And all that could equal to a very compelling podcast. So I decided to record something, maybe cut it up later in a movie maker and then add some pictures, and we'll see where it goes from there. One thing I am not going to do, which I basically fucking hate, is when people write notes down and they read from a script. There's no scripts. I've got some point form ideas of subjects I want to talk about so I don't forget anything, but as a podcast, as a whole, I think that notes is cheating. Basically taking something into a test. I know people who used to write on their hands, who used to write on their bills, who basically tried to cheat the system, but most of the time they got caught. And to me, it's the same thing. If you write notes down and you just read off a script, you're cheating. The whole point of a podcast is to talk as if something is naturally coming to you. And I want this to be that natural. I want to discuss things as if you're just sitting across from me at a coffee table and we're just shooting the shit. I mean, to me, that's what would make a great podcast. If I'm talking to you, not at you, I'm just telling you what I feel. And maybe if you like this, you can leave some notes and I might respond to them in the next podcast. You never know. I'm sure some things I have to say will upset you, might make your blood boil. I'm an atheist, so I know a lot of you are probably going to hate some of the shit I spew out today. One of the subjects I'll be discussing today is that Orlando shooting. I'm a huge gun control supporter, so that's going to be something I'll be tackling, and I'm sure people have all sorts of opinions on how we should tackle that issue, or how Congress should tackle the issue. Well, since they're not actually fucking doing anything right now, they're just sitting on their hands or their thumbs and basically just collecting donations. Like I said before, I'm a very opinionated guy. I have opinions. I live in Canada. I'm in Ontario, just south of Toronto. Great area, but that doesn't mean I don't have opinions about things that happen outside my borders. Yes, I know what's going on in my parliament. Yes, I know what's going on with what's going on in my country and my own political stuff. But at the same time, I will look at the States and I'll comment on their politics. Just like I would look at the UK or any other country that has their own politics. Just because we don't live there doesn't mean we're not entitled to an opinion. Doesn't mean we're not entitled to a view of how we think things should run there. Because many countries, including the United States, does have an enormous impact on what happens in my own home, my own economy, and a lot of other stuff. So there's no reason why I shouldn't have an opinion just because I don't live there. And trust me, I do have a lot of opinions regarding that whole clusterfuck they're calling election season. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm just going to spew out my own verbal diarrhea and just see where everything falls. Not a pretty picture, I guess, but like I said, I like to talk. I like to debate. I love to just not ram my opinion down your throats, but I like to run up a flagpole and just basically see who salutes it. You don't have to salute. You're not required to. If you want to oppose me, write down some notes, jot down some comments. I will read them and take due consideration and accordingly flush them if I don't like them. But at the same time, you will be heard. You will be noted. I don't know if I'm going to follow it or praise it or shit on it, but you will be duly noted. That's the only promise I can really make. I'll pay attention. I'll hear you out. And as long as you're not cussing or acting like a fucking child, we'll let you have your say. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube and other forums if I can eventually get the movie cutter to work through this audio. But in the meantime, I just wanted to discuss a few things. I like to gab, if you haven't noticed already. And I'm just going to talk about a few things that I think are important to me, important to a lot of people. And it's just, some things are just too fucked up that you can't talk about. I mean, right now, if you turn on a news channel, it doesn't matter if it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or even my channels in Canada, which is CTV, CBC, all that stuff, the 24-hour stations are all showing the same thing. As a matter of fact, I'll just tune into it right now because I'm right in front of the TV, and I'll see what they're talking about right now. Let's see. Let's go to... Well, the Jays are in 9-1 anyway, so it's not like I got to stay here. So if I click over to CNN, yeah, it specifically says the Orlando terror attack. Yeah, I wonder what that show's about. All right, if I click over to CTV... Yep, they're still doing the Horror of the Pulse nightclub. Yeah, that sounds like No one's trying to strike fear in anybody with that kind of title. Let's see, CBC, what one's that doing? No, that's not a commercial right now, so enough about that. Let's move on to the next one. I have MSNBC, but I do not have Fox News. Don't like Fox News, don't watch it, so there's no point in having it. MSNBC is still on commercial as well, but what's the name of the program on right now? Come on, give me the menu. Give me the menu. There we go. I mean, it's just blah. It just says MSNBC Live. Like, that's not very original. So if I run back to CTV News, which is usually something I like to watch since it doesn't try to scare us as much as everything else, they're still doing the wall-to-wall coverage of the Orlando shooting, which if everyone's been hiding under a rock, basically some dude walked into a nightclub in Orlando and basically killed 49 people and injured over 50 more. This is now being billed as the largest mass shooting in U.S. history, and I don't know about you, but I'm hoping that record sticks for a while because I don't want to see anything bigger than that occur. This is definitely the biggest shooting since France, and that was a pretty brutal one as well. And now the news stations are all jumping over the fact that this guy is Islamic, he's a Muslim, and he seems to have been reading a lot of angry stuff on the internet. He was a hot-tempered guy himself. He has some domestic issues with his wife, and he seemed to be a little off balance if you listen to his coworkers. So in essence, this guy just snaps, basically attacks a group that he doesn't personally like because Islam is known for their homophobia. And from what I've heard of his father's statements, he even said that, I don't like them either, but this is God's will to take care of. So even his father has admitted a little homophobia himself. So we can see that that apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Obviously, his father doesn't like them, so he doesn't like them. And the hate spread through the generations, and that's unfortunate because what ended up happening was this guy walked into a store, legally purchased a handgun and an assault rifle, and just basically shot a lot of people. And it's unfortunate. And every time this happens, almost every freaking time this happens, politicians on the right and left will step up and say the same thing. Oh, we have to put our thoughts and prayers are with you. Yeah, so basically I'm going to do jack shit, but I'm going to pretend that I'm doing something. We won't pass anything that'll make you safer, but we'll pray for you, and we'll let God take care of it instead. Yeah, well, we didn't elect God to Congress. We elected you to Congress to actually protect the people and serve the people. That's the whole function of your job. And unfortunately, Republicans in Congress just don't want to do it. I mean, seriously, guys, a few years ago, 20 kids under the age of 6 were gunned down. And if that wasn't enough to spark a fire underneath Congress's ass, do you honestly think this thing in Orlando is going to do it? Not a fucking chance. I mean, they should have been tripping all over each other to pass laws after Sandy Hook. But they just dug their heels in, supported by the NRA and their endless checkbook, and they said no to any kind of reasonable gun control legislation. What a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of the big shootings, we're talking San Bernardino, Aurora with the movie theater that was showing The Dark Knight Returns, or even Sandy Hook and last weekend's Orlando shooting, they all had the same gun in common, which is the AR-15 assault rifle. So even if we don't come after everyone's guns, even if we don't ask people to hand in their guns and get them all destroyed, can we at least all agree that maybe we need to relook at the AR-15 and make that a little more difficult for people to obtain easily? Like, I mean, people who are mentally ill, and the guy last week was on the FBI terror watch list. I'm sorry, if you're a suspected terrorist, I think your Second Amendment rights should be put on hold. If you're suspected in colluding with an enemy, then yes, you should not be allowed to buy guns and then go blow people away. Would it be harmful if we suggested a longer wait period for assault rifles? So, I mean, if it's 5 days for a handgun, make it 2 weeks for an assault rifle. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if somebody bothered to call the FBI and say, hey, this guy wants to buy a gun. Is he on the watch list? Would you really be opposed to that? Do you think law-abiding gun citizens would find that too intrusive? I mean, these are lives we're talking about here. These are people who are being gunned down for no reason other than just being there and being themselves. I mean, I don't know. I don't think many Americans want this to continue. And I mean, when you look at other countries and you look at their murder rates, their gun rates, the numbers don't lie. Less guns means less gun crime. I mean, just by crossing the border from the States into Canada, the gun crime drops drastically, like about 90%. 90%. And the reason why is because we have strict gun control laws. Sure, you can go out and buy a rifle. Sure, you can go out and buy a gun. But you need to get a license for it. And until a short while ago, you even had to register every gun that was in your house. And I was in full support of that. Now, to be perfectly honest, and I'm going to be upfront with you 100%, I've never owned a gun. And I actually haven't even touched one. And I hope that in my lifetime, I'll never have to. So I don't know what people... So I'm not trying to tell people what to do with their guns. I mean, my brother-in-laws my former brother-in-laws, they had rifles because they liked to hunt moose. And that was fine. I mean, they would shoot a moose, they'd catch it, they'd bring it back to the house, and they'd basically cut it up for food, and we'd have lots of good meat for a few weeks. I mean, that is a legitimate use for a rifle. And I mean, there's no reason why we should bother people who do stuff like that and don't want to shoot other people. But I mean, hunters don't need AR-15s. Hunters don't need armor-piercing bullets. People who are purchasing this stuff are doing it specifically for the right to shoot other people. And when purchases are being made for that reason, that's the kind of stuff we need to crack down on. And I think law-abiding hunters and civilians who follow the law, they should not have a problem with that. I mean, how many more nightclubs, how many more schools, how many more churches need to be gunned down in order for us to realize that this is wrong, that something has to be done? I mean, it took one airplane incident with a guy trying to blow up his shoe, and now I have to take off my shoes every time I walk into a goddamn airport. It's inconvenient, yes, but when they ask me to take my shoes off, I'll take my shoes off because they want to be safe. Why can't we apply that same standard to guns? If there's one gun that's being used by all these shooters, if there's a favorite that everybody likes, then why can't we make that favorite gun a little harder to obtain? Why can't we make them jump through a few more hoops just for the sake of safety, just so we can check to make sure that this guy isn't on a terror watch list and he's not going to use it to gun down 50 people? I don't think that's unreasonable. I don't think that's unfair. And I think that that's something Congress needs to look into. We don't have to take away your guns, but we have to make sure that military-grade weapons don't get in the hands of people who shouldn't have them, because they'll use them and they'll kill people. And next time it could be your cousin. Next time it could be someone we know. I mean, how many people honestly have to die before we actually do something about it? How many more kids? How many more people in churches? I mean, seriously. It's just frustrating. I mean, when you listen to the politicians that are talking about now, they're talking about, oh, this is Islamic terrorism. This is not a gun control issue. Well, that's not true. I watched that video that the Daily Show had, and they showed a video of someone from Al-Qaeda who specifically said we don't need to smuggle guns in the U.S. because you can go to a gun show and just buy one there. I mean, it's easy to get guns, so what's stopping you from buying a gun and shooting the infidel? If terrorists think it's too easy to buy guns, guess what, guys? It's too fucking easy to buy guns. Something has to happen. The status quo is unacceptable. 50 people dying in one night is not acceptable. And if you think that your rights are more important than these people's right to exist, you're an asshole. You're a dick. You're a cunt. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Your right to own an assault rifle should not overrule somebody's right to exist. I mean, those 20 kids at Sandy Hook, their rights to exist should overrule your right to own a gun. That's my opinion. I might be right, I might be wrong, but I hardly doubt it. So if you listen to the politicians, basically Trump's patting himself on the back, saying, yeah, I call it. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. Well, of course we knew it was going to happen. Eventually, somebody was going to be dumb enough to pick up something and do something. It's like saying somebody's going to win the World Series at the end of the year. Yeah, we know it's going to happen. We just don't know who it is. That doesn't make me a genius or a great guesser of events happening. And then, of course, there's Hillary, who's ringing the whole Islamic terrorism bell. She has not mentioned gun control. Here's the thing. This is the thing that pisses me off about Hillary Clinton. When she was debating Bernie at the debates, she hit him over the head with gun control. You are not a gun control candidate. I am a gun control candidate. Now that there's actually been a mass shooting, she's not mentioning gun control. She has not mentioned it once since the incident occurred because she doesn't want gun control. She never has. She was lying her ass off throughout the debates, and she's full of shit. Mind you, most politicians are full of shit, but it's interesting when we actually catch someone in the act, because she belted Bernie on gun control, and now she doesn't give a fuck about it. No, this is Islamic terrorism, nothing to do with gun control. No, it has everything to do with gun control, because when terrorists think that it's easy to buy guns in your country and there's no point in bringing them with us, we'll just buy them when we get there, yeah, that's a fucking problem. That's a gun control issue. I mean, we should be keeping guns out of the hands of people who mean to harm others, whether they're mentally unbalanced, whether they're on the terror watch list, whether they're religious, and that doesn't just stick down to Islam. I'm not going to bash one religion. I mean, Timothy McVeigh was a Christian, and he killed 160 people in Oklahoma. So that's a Christian terrorist. So, I mean, terror comes in all shapes and sizes, and they come from all creeds. I'm even willing to admit that. But that's another can of worms we'll open another time, because I'm not a very big fan of religion to begin with. I'm an atheist. I'm an outspoken atheist. I've actually written a book about it, so I'm not fond of religion to begin with, but we cannot avoid the fact that religion did have a sliver of blame to take here, because Islam is known for their homophobia. ISIS, I saw a Vice article a few months ago where ISIS threw 2 gay people off the roof of a building because they were gay. No other reason. You're gay, it's evil, boom, off the roof he goes and splat on the ground. That kind of hatred seeps over to the other side, and then we got this guy gunning down 50 people in a gay nightclub. Coincidence? No. He sees, is monkey see, monkey do. They're killing gays there, I'll kill gays here. So, yeah, and Islam says homosexuality is evil. And then if you flip a few more pages later, it says kill the infidel. So technically you cannot get mad at people for blaming Islam, because technically the book is telling them to do exactly what he just did. But the key is all religion has to eventually grow up and basically become a part of the modern society we're seeing now. Sure, there's ugly parts in the Bible that tell people to commit sacrifices, to commit murder, but we don't do it. Like, we can't walk into court and say, oh, the Bible told me an eye for an eye. No, that's not acceptable. If you kill someone, you're off to jail, dude. It's wrong. So I'm not going to pick on one religion in particular, because all of them have their bad shit, and all of them are homophobic. I don't think there's a religion out there that doesn't say homosexuality is evil, and they're all wrong for saying it. Who gives a shit? It's the 21st century. I don't care how you get your eggs done. If it doesn't bother me, why should it bother anybody else? It's just frustrating, because we don't think anything's going to be happening. Nothing's going to get done. Nothing's going to change. And then 5 or 6 months from now, or maybe next year, it'll happen again. Somebody will walk in with a gun, probably an AR-15 if you're looking at the pattern, and just mow down a crap load of people, and then the whole cycle will start again. The denial, you're in our prayers. Oh, well, we can't do anything about it. Let's move on. Let's change our profile picture, show our solidarity, and then out the door it goes. Under the carpet we sweep it, and it's over. That's wrong. Things need to change. Because if you don't change anything, it's just going to keep happening. And eventually it'll happen to someone you love. So this is the reason why you need to support gun control. And that means calling congressmen, calling members of parliament, wherever you are. Basically, if you send letters, send calls, and say, look, this is unacceptable. We want gun control. Eventually they'll have to listen. And if they don't listen, talk with your vote. Basically, don't vote for the people who refuse to make gun changes. Vote the people in who do say they want to make gun changes. Great example, Bernie Sanders. First thing he said on Meet the Press the day after was, we need to stop these gun sales. He's the only guy that stood up for it. Of course, as usual, Bernie is on the right side of history, because he's preaching against guns instead of just going through the whole usual Islamic terrorist bullshit. And that brings us right back into the presidential election. I'm not going to beat around the bush about my bias. I mean, I'm a gigantic pro-Bernie Sanders supporter. I'm literally ashamed of the Democratic Party for how they've conducted themselves over the last several months. They've pretty much moved heaven and earth to fix this primary for Hillary, even though she's done nothing to deserve it. She was a terrible Secretary of State. She's consistently lied about the issues or flip-flopped on them numerous times. She is the worst candidate to run for the Democratic Party. I even think that O'Malley was a better candidate than her, because at least he was honest about what he talked about. He didn't lie. There's lots of videos out there showing how often Hillary lies. Oh, I shot a Kosovo under a hail of sniper gunfire. No, we see a video of you and your daughter walking through the tarmac. You're not ducking. There's no shots flying overhead. There's actually a welcome crowd, and she's completely full of shit. Up until 4 years ago, she was against gay marriage. Like, she thought there's videos of her in the Senate when she was a senator clearly stating that marriage should be between a man and a woman. She's lying. So today when she says I support gay marriage now, no, she flip-flopped to win votes. She doesn't give a shit about gay marriage. She never did. She opposed it, and if she could get away with it, she'd oppose it today. She's just lying. She's just feeding you a lie to win your vote. She does not support you. She does not support the gay community. And there's videos of her bragging about being a Goldwater girl. Goldwater wanted to repeal the Civil Rights Act. Does that sound like someone who cares about black lives? No, it doesn't. Then there's a whole incident that occurred at one of her private parties where there's a black woman who held up a sign quoting her super predator, put them to heel quote. And instead of acknowledging her anger and talking to her, she had security kick him out. That's the kind of bullshit we accept from Trump, but she had no problem doing it. Like, there's a member of her party who was not happy, who wanted to say something, and instead of hearing her out, she kicked her out. That's the kind of bullshit that makes Hillary a terrible candidate. Forget the fact I haven't even brought up the email discussion. I haven't even brought up the whole indictment for possible racketeering for her Clinton slush fund, known as the Clinton Foundation. She is a crooked politician. So anyone who opposes Hillary, it's not because she's a woman. It's not gender bias. It's because she's a terrible politician. There are a lot of great women out there who would make a fantastic president. Elizabeth Warren, until recently, Elizabeth Warren was our top choice for a female president. But she's jumped over to the dark side, and a lot of Bernie supporters feel betrayed or stabbed in the back. They're comparing her to Brutus and Julius Caesar. And there's lots of highly qualified women out there who are great politicians and better politicians than Hillary. So no, we're not opposed to a female president. We're opposed to her being the first one. And on the other side of the Republicans, you're not going to see any defectors. As much as people don't like Donald Trump, they hate Hillary more. They've hated her for 20 years. Like Trump, his hate probably started with the Apprentice, and it's been slowly building since. But for Hillary, that shit's been going on for almost 30 years. They hate everything about her. They do not want her to be president. So she can get no help from the GOP side. No one's going to defect to vote for her instead of Trump. Spoken to a lot of Republicans, and they say, I don't like this Trump guy, but you know what? At least he's not Hillary. So Trump can say anything. Like Trump said, he shoot a guy in Times Square, his numbers will go up because he's still not Hillary. And he's doing a fantastic job with this campaign. Say what you want, he gets the attention. Say what you want, he gets the free media. He doesn't have to spend money on his campaign because the media is doing it for him. Every time he walks up to a mic and says something controversial, is he saying that because he believes it? No, he's saying it because he knows when he says it, the networks will run with it and give him all the free advertising he wants. He spent next to nothing on the primaries. And because the press kept giving him all that free time, he won in a landslide. It wasn't even close. He kicked the crap out of 15 Republican primary opponents. One at a time, he picked them off. And it was not even close. Not even close. And now he's doing the same song and dance with Hillary. The only difference is when he was running against guys like Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush, he was making shit up as he went. I'm pretty sure Ted Cruz's father had nothing to do with the JFK assassination, but that never stopped Trump from talking about it. And he did, even though he knew it was complete bullshit. Now, if Hillary actually is coordinated at the Democratic convention, they give her the nomination. The biggest difference between the primary and the general election is Trump doesn't have to make shit up. There's so many scandals. There's so much crooked shit going on with Hillary. All he has to do is tell the truth, and he wins. All he has to do is talk about the Clinton Foundation, and he wins. All he has to do is talk about Bill's horrible sexual predator history, he wins. He doesn't have to make shit up. She's got so much shit in her closet, all he's got to do is open the door and let it all spill out into the public forum. And I'm pretty sure that's what his advisors are telling him. You do not have to make stuff up. There's tons of stuff to work with. He's going to clobber her at the debates. Like Bernie Sanders was handling her with kid gloves. When she walks into that general election debate, he is going to basically, it'll be like a narc at a biker rally. It's not going to be pretty. He is going to basically control the debate from the start. He'll ignore the rules like he did the GOP debates. She will not be able to stand up to him, and he will just hit her with one detail after another. He'll bring up the emails. He will bring up the Clinton Foundation. He will hit her with everything that Bernie Sanders was too polite to talk about. People will see it. People will watch it and say, well, she can't stand with Trump. She can't stand with Putin. She can't stand with Trump. She can't stand with North Korea. They'll see her as weak. And because of that, they won't vote for her. And in November, odds are we're going to have President Trump. If they give Hillary the nomination, we will have President Trump. It's that simple. Independents don't like her. Republicans don't like her. Half the Democrats are Bernie or bust. They don't even want to vote for her. So all she's going to get is half the Democratic side, and that's it. And that, people, does not make an electoral victory. It doesn't. And if she does win, she's a chicken hot. We'll see more wars, more conflict, more drone strikes. It's just going to be a nasty and ugly affair, regardless of who wins. Do we want Tweedledum or do we want Tweedledummer? Basically, that's the choice Americans will have if Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are the final nominees. Now, I say final nominees because technically Bernie Sanders hasn't dropped out. He's taken it to convention and he wants to contest the results. And if he does, he's got grounds to do it. Right now, people are still counting votes in California. There are literally millions of votes that have not been counted. And from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing on the internet, most of those votes are for Bernie. That over several districts have flipped for Bernie since the California election, primary election. So between now and the convention, if more districts continue to flip, by the time Bernie gets to the convention, he might win California. He might have enough votes and enough districts to flip the whole state. And how embarrassing will it look if Hillary loses California before the convention? It won't be pretty. And a lot of people are already accusing Clinton of cheating in Arizona and New York, and now they're accusing her of cheating in California because all these votes are uncounted and they're declaring victory before everything is counted. I mean, nothing should be declared victory unless every count is voted. And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of districts that haven't done their counting yet. There's a lot of districts that haven't even counted their absentee ballots. There's over 1 million absentee ballots that have not been counted. And until they are counted, I don't think California is final. I think California can be in Bernie's corner by the time we get to the convention. If I was a superdelegate, I would be worried. I don't think Hillary can beat Trump. I don't think she can beat him at the debates. And after the debates, people will be voting for Trump. Bernie is the exact opposite. Bernie would stand up to Trump. Bernie would take Trump's crap. And he would win by double digits. So unless the Democratic Party wants to lose the White House, they need to get their shit together. They need to stop trying to coordinate the first woman president and actually pick the best candidate there. And right now, the best candidate is not Hillary. And it frustrates me that a lot of Democratic people think it's Hillary, or they're just saying, oh, I want to be a part of history. I want to vote the first female president. Well, no. By doing that, you're voting in one of the worst candidates in the field. Even a handful of Republican nominees were better than Hillary. Not many, but some. Bernie is by far the best choice. He would be a good president for the people. He's anti-corporation. The media doesn't cover it all because, of course, corporations own the media. So it's been the fix ever since the beginning, ever since the first ballot. So it's just frustrating. And a lot of people who support Bernie, they're frustrated as well. But what he's talking about, what he's promoting, is stuff that other countries currently have. Some countries in Europe give free education to their kids if they qualify for it. Almost every modern country, including my own, has socialized medicine, universal health care. Basically what we're saying is health care is a right, not a privilege for the rich. A good example of socialized medicine would be my trip to the hospital that I took 2 weeks ago. On one day, my leg started to turn red. On day 2, my leg started to turn purple. And I thought, this doesn't look right. And so I took myself to Emerge, and I went in there and I got checked out. A few IV bags later, a crap load of antibody pills, and I'm on the road to recovery. But if I lived in the States, because of where I am In the social ladder, I wouldn't have been able to afford those treatments. I possibly could have lost my leg in my life. This is a nightmare that Americans have to put up with their insurance carriers, or even worse, if you don't have insurance at all. Obamacare was a step in the right direction, but every Republican wants to repeal it. It's doing good. It's making money. It's saving money. I mean, it's a good program, but they just refuse to accept it because it was an idea that came from a black president. It's steeped in racism. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's exactly what it is. If Hillary or Biden or somebody else came up with this healthcare idea, well, when Romney went ahead with it in Massachusetts, everyone said, this guy's brilliant. He's awesome. But when Obama says, let's do the same thing for the country, oh, no, he's evil. He's a socialist. This is a terrible idea. We must repeal. No, that's racism. That's not a valid argument to oppose a bill because somebody else thought of it first. No, you should look at the bill based on its merits. You should look at the bill and say, is this best for the people? Whether or not you turn down a bill should not be based on who brought up the idea or who tabled the bill. And by not doing that, the Republicans in Congress have failed the people. They failed their constituents. They've refused to do their jobs. And all this obstructionism is bullshit. It's crap. I mean, they should all be fired for doing nothing. I mean, they weren't sent there to do nothing. They were sent there to do the right thing. And how many jobs bills did Obama try to pass? How many infrastructure bills did he try to pass? And they just refused to put it through because it was coming from Obama. That kind of obstructionism just doesn't fly. And I'm hoping in November the people will punish Republicans for sitting on their asses while the rest of the country is suffering. It's what they deserve. It's what should happen. It's basically, hopefully karma will kick in, but if those are the two candidates, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So a lot of people are going to be plugging their noses when they hit the ballot box. If cheating, unless there's some fraudulent thing going on there. Are we going to have a close contest where lawyers will have to be involved again? I don't know. Ever since Florida in 2000, everyone's been skeptical of the legitimacy of machines. And they have a right to be skeptical. But it just doesn't fly with me. People are going to continue to cheat, lie, and steal. And as long as the people who are cheating are the ones who hold the keys to the city, it's going to be kind of hard to go after them with the Department of Justice. What can I say? The truth hurts. As for myself, if you want a little more background about my own political affiliation, I am a Democratic Socialist. I've voted the last 3 elections for the party that considers themselves Democratic Socialists. That being the New Democratic Party. I was a huge supporter of Jack Layton before he passed away. I thought he was a great leader. I thought he would have been a fantastic prime minister. Unfortunately, we never got the chance to see that. We never got a chance to actually experience what would have been a great leader in charge of our country. Instead, we got 4 more years of Tweedledum, and that was just a nightmare. I didn't vote for Justin Trudeau, but I like him. He's made some good decisions. He's actually followed up on some campaign promises. So we cannot accuse the guy of not trying. He's actually making an effort to follow through with what he said. He's not perfect, but we don't expect anybody else to be. I guess I should refer to Elbowgate, which I think is complete and utter. I'm an NDP supporter, but I'm ashamed of how badly they acted over that incident. He brushed somebody. He bumped into somebody. We do that on the train every day, and we just apologize and move on. So when our Prime Minister apologized, we should have. That's where it should have ended. We should have said, "Okay, thank you for apologizing. Please don't do it again." The end. But no, it didn't. They just kept whining, crying, and even me, as a supporter of the party, was writing in and saying, "Shut the fuck up." No, you're embarrassing yourselves and you're embarrassing me who voted for you. I hate that crap. It's just, no. Stop acting like a victim. You're a politician. You're an adult. Fucking act like one. I don't mean to swear too much, but that gets under my grill. I mean, I'm not a liberal. I'm not a Trudeau supporter, but I think that whole thing was crap, and they just need to cut that shit out. It's 11-3 for the Blue Jays. Look at that. Yeah, I'm a big sports fan. That's something I'll probably talk about in future podcasts as well. Love the Blue Jays. I've been supporting them since I was 9 years old, ever since I went to the first game at the old Exhibition Stadium. Since I live quite close, I'm also a Tiger Cat fan in the Hammer. I'm also a Raptor fan. I took my son to our first Raptor game last year. He had a lot of fun. We're probably going to do it again next year. If you ask me about free agency, I really hope that DeRozan goes and signs somewhere else so we can save the money for Durant. That's my opinion, but it's wishful thinking. The odds of Durant coming to Toronto are probably just as good as Bryce Harper coming to the Blue Jays. Not fucking happening. Or Stamkos coming to the Leafs. Fuck, that's not happening either. As much as I would love to see it happen, not happening. Speaking of the Leafs, they have the first round pick. I'm excited about that. I really hope they don't trade it away, but if they do trade it away, it better be like an Eric Lindros-esque deal. Like we basically just rape and pillage the freaking cupboard of whatever team tries to grab that first round pick. There's some good kids available this, so unless someone offers a king's ransom, take the first pick, get a good player, continue the rebuild. We got a great coach who's good at teaching young players. Once he gets them all on board, once they're all chugging as a unit, this team will improve. It'll get better. I'm willing to wait a few more years. Hell, I've waited this long. I've been a part of the ride since the Ballard years. If I can survive that, I can survive this. I like Mike Babcock. I'm willing to give him a few years to see how things go. I'm excited. I can't wait to see more hockey next year, but I can wait because right now Blue Jays and football come first. I watched the game last night between Sacramento and Cleveland. It was a bit of a yawner. But Cleveland, I didn't expect them to lie down, but the odds of them winning 3 in a row are not good. I don't think Golden State's actually lost 3 in a row in 2 years. So the odds of that happening right now, not going to happen, especially with Green coming back in the next game. I honestly think the only reason why they didn't win last night is because Green was suspended, which I also happen to think is bullshit. I mean, it should be a much more major infraction for someone to be suspended during the playoffs, but that's just my opinion. I guess I'm running out of things to talk about. But I guess I'll end the podcast here, and then my sad attempt to put pictures to it before posting on YouTube will begin. I hope it looks okay in the end. If you want to leave a question or comment, be polite, and I promise to respond. Be civil, and I promise to give you a response. But if you're mean, you're rude, I'm just going to ignore you, and you're not going to get your say. All right? So this is the end of the first PJ podcast. My name is PJ Lowry. I'm a writer, poet, outspoken atheist, and pretty much all-around shit disturber. I'll talk to you guys again later. I might make another one next week. But in the meantime, have a good week, guys, and I'll see you around. Ciao.